Oh shit, that's better. I want to talk about something. I'm going to grab a couple bats here when I'm talking about them. I want to talk about something on this membership channel, and it's going to be on that second tier, not the first tier, but the second tier, when I talk about building bats, and I talk about what my opinion on bats that will help a lot of you bat manufacturers going forward on how to better your product, and just my opinion on what I think you guys need to do. And this is based on years of testing bats, doing R&D for people, and I'm kind of collecting some bats here, and just talking and spreading knowledge on what I think a lot of bat manufacturers kind of need to do a little bit. What I see now, and I see a lot of these bat manufacturers are coming from this, U-Trip and ASA onto the senior market, is they don't change their barrel strength, their barrel flexibility on a lot. So you can't carry and go right into senior ball and expect to work with a hard barrel, especially when it comes to balance bats and bat speed. So when you're transitioning, like, you can get away with that shit with that 100-mile-an-hour swing when a lot of those guys that are playing that conference ball, like a balanced bat, which I think the percentages are really low. The conference balls are 35, 40-year-old guys that are coming. And I think the popularity of a balanced guy is not very high in those divisions. But when you get to senior, a lot of them will transition into balanced bats. But you cannot bring that same technology coming from U-Trip, from the kids, and take it into senior ball and expect your bat to actually sell, the sales on your bat, or your bat to be very popular. So what you have to do is you have to soften a barrel. I'm talking about balanced bats, guys, in this video. So, end loads tend to be the more popular. Half-ounce end loads tend to be, and then you got 3/4 ounce end loads. And if you're going to go to a 3/4, you might as well go to a 1 ounce end load, because I think with a lot of the guys with the faster bat speed, they like that leverage, I guess, that mass on the end of the bat, will tend to swing those end loaded bats and get a little bit better performance. You will never ever have a balanced bat actually beat a end loaded bat, because it has no mass. Doesn't have any mass on the end of the bat, right in this area. It doesn't have any mass. But what I suggest, or I would want you guys to do whenever you have a bat, let's say, and I haven't even swung this one yet, it's still got no tape on it or anything, but what I would suggest to a lot of you guys, kind of like when you're coming from a wig popper that had a little bit more than 3/4 ounce. I think the newer one has a 1 ounce end load. It softened the barrel up, especially going into the senior market. There is a few bats out there that, oh man, I wish I could get to it or pick it out right here. That is actually there it is. And this is just an example, and I know he's not part of my channel, but I will show this bat to you and kind of explain. This bat right here, the Senior Slugger by TPS. What they did was TPS came from the U-Trip and the U-Trip and the ASA, and the TPS came and they transitioned into senior. So it's called the Senior Slugger, and it's a balanced bat. It's got a 13-inch barrel. You cannot come from the 100-mile-an-hour bat speed, guys, and come into the senior market and expect this bat to perform. For one, your seniors have diminishing bat speed, 50s, 55s, 60s. I think these are catered more toward the 40s, but when you get to the 50, 55, 60s, 65, 70s, this barrel's too hard. And we've hit it a few times, and we can tell you this barrel's too hard. It's just too hard to swing. What Dudley was so popular back in the day was, remember this bat, the OG Dudley, the red knob, when they came out with it? Well, with this bat, they came out with a 13-inch. Then they came out with the black balanced bat. But what they did between this bat and the black one, the OG, they made that black one barrel a little softer than this one. It was less durable than this one. They both were hot, but that bat was softer because it didn't have the end cap in it. You can actually, on a 27 ounce, you can pop that end cap out of that bat and it doesn't have anything in it. Pop the end cap out of this bat, it's got ball bearings in it. So less mass, less flex on the barrel. So they can get away with making that bat more flexible and less durable. Because if you put mass on, more stress on the barrel, it's going to crack earlier. So, you know, on these, we haven't swung this one yet. This is a balanced bat. And I see the way you guys are going is with the OG Dudleys, those hand weights were probably in the 11s, you know, 10.5 to 11. But with doing that, they could actually, you can't do the 10.5 and 11 with a hard barrel. This one right here, and I'm going to weigh it later, but I guarantee you it's got like a 10 on the hands, a hard barrel. You cannot have 10 on the hands with a 16.5 on the end and a hard barrel. That barrel will never compress for you guys that are swinging. Now, you 100 mile an hour plus guys, you can swing anything and compress that wall. You swing it fast enough. 100 miles an hour is pretty good. So you're going to be able to compress this. But when you get into the senior market, you need to quit thinking U-trip. You quit thinking ASA and start thinking more of a softer barrel when you're building the balance bats. You've got California Bat Company, this one right here. It's not what I think Joseph did, and I think he went a little bit softer on this barrel than the previous model bats, you know, like the first group that he came out with. I think what he did was he went a little softer. I think he should go a lot softer than what this one is right now. This is not a bad bat. It's a balanced bat. It made #1 on my harder barrel side. But here's if you guys want to corner that market, you know, if you guys want to corner that market with the seniors that are over 50 and 55s, which I don't know if you guys want to do that because I know the money's not really there. The money's mainly with the 40-year-old guys. So my advice to a lot of you guys is go softer on the barrel. Joseph and California Bat Company, with you guys, I know you're headed in that direction. You're thinking about that. What kind of market can you actually bring in? Because it's all about revenue, generating a lot of revenue and actually generating a lot of sales. But here's the deal, guys. Think about it. And if you think about it this way, go to a lot of tournaments. Go to, especially on the East Coast, you know, central United States, not necessarily just pay attention to California. What I would do is go to a lot of tournaments. You'll notice that a lot of the older seniors, the 55, 60, 65, 70-year-old guys are swinging softer barrel bats. So if you built a bat that the barrel was soft, you would actually corner that market. They would not be swinging those bats anymore or paying that price. And in turn, that price would go down on a lot of those bats because if you know the Adidas, the Suncoast, not the Suncoast, but, well, some of the Suncoast, but the Adidas and the Reeboks and the OG and 2.0 Dudleys are going for $300, $350, $400, you know, $700 on brand new ones. And the reason that price is so high because that barrel is pretty soft, it's durable, and it lasts a long time. I'm not saying build a durable bat because I know the money's not there and you can't do that. I think Dudley made a mistake by building their bat that they had and they screwed up. Actually, you had one, especially seniors, one guy buy that bat and he could carry that bat for about 10 years and swing it before it actually would wear out on him. And if it wore out on him, they can give it somebody that has diminishing bat speed. You know, the California, Cali Gold, this is the D Maridi. You know, I would, when you're building like this, I think this one has a 10.5 on the hands. I'm going to start, I don't mark my shit down like I used to. And I think I did it fast on this one. But what you have here is you have 16. I think this one was a 16 too, and had a 10, 10, 5, 10, 4 on the hands, which makes it a balanced bat. I think, you know, I think this one has a little bit too hard of a barrel, so it won't go to that soft side. And it all, you know, I'm sitting there preaching, but if you guys, you know, I think what you're trying to do, a lot of you bat manufacturers out there, is you're trying to, you know, the 40s are coming up, and the 40s desire to play senior ball. They can't wait to get there. And I think you want that market, but you're forgetting about the 55s, the 50s, you know, that diminishing bat speed. What you guys don't understand is once you transition into senior ball, you know, there's a lot more of the 60, 65, 70, 75, 80 tops mile an hour guys than there are the pros that are hitting that 100-mile mark that's carrying into 55 and 60s and 65s, you know, but still the majority of the players out there are in that softer barrel. It's one thing you guys got to understand. I see too many, you know, short porch, you know, even Onyx with their harder barrel bats recently, even Proton. Proton has the same barrel, and Charles will tell you this. They have 3 different weights put on the same bat. And I think if Proton would actually, on their balance bats, or California Bat Company, or, you know, with Short Porch or Carlos Vega, I think if they actually made a call and soften that barrel up a little bit, not that big of a mass on the end, they'll find out that they're still going to have the durability, but they're going to raise their performance just a little bit. So a lot of you guys out there, and I know I'm repeating myself, and it's been 12 minutes already. I think a lot of you guys out there would actually, because if you look at it, the only people this last year that has done is Miken. Miken actually went to a very soft barrel. The Mike Dill is actually one of the top soft barrels out there, and on that soft barrel side on balance bats. And that barrel does soften up really good, but the Miken before this last year, all their balance bats sucked because the barrel was too hard. And they came out with that Platinum series, you know, and that barrel was way hard. So now that they've transitioned, you know, into a softer barrel, and I think a lot of people need to follow suit with that, because what you have is a lot of the seniors are starting to gravitate toward those softer barrel bats, which they have been for years, and they understand that the bat speed is not there, you know, and you can't have a hard barrel when you don't have no bat speed. And they're understanding that now, because we have been getting the word out for 14 years here. So if you guys want to build, you know, the Charles Darlings out there, you know, and you can't just have the same barrel. You got a softer barrel on the balance bat, a little bit harder barrel on those big end loads. And then on those half-ounce end loads, you can go to something in between. I guarantee you have a great performing bat on your end loads, your big end loads, and your half-ounce end loads, and your balance bats. Thanks, guys.